Howdy and hello! Welcome back to Gelgelim, a Yiddish fantasy gone rogue. We are in sort of our we just finished like a big heavy arc, and now we're moving on to whatever comes next. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, just want to do a round of introductions, starting with TK.
Hey, I'm TJ. I go with he/him pronouns, and I'm also playing Alexis, who goes by he/him pronouns. Moving on to Sarah.
All right, hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckelot. You know, I'm here on your screen. And as per usual, tonight I am playing Eleonora, and the two of us use she/they pronouns.
Hi, I am Danielle Osterman. I am the facilitator and setting designer for Gelgelim, this great Yiddish fantasy world that we're playing in. Next up.
Hey everybody, I am Turk or Turk accented if you're a Turk from the future. Shawl, I will be playing Shawl tonight, and we both use he/him pronouns. Toss it over to Janie.
Hi, I'm Janie. I'm playing Layla, and I have Janie Pot 7575 online and she/they pronouns. I think I got everything. Yes, I win.
Hello, I'm Max. I use he/they pronouns. I am Arcane Goth all over the internet, at least where I want you to find me. In this game, I play Asher Elisar, who uses they, he, and she pronouns.
All right, fantastic. So before we get into a little bit of the recap and into the game session, I just want to remind everybody that we do have a fabulous website that's got a summary of what's happened up until from the beginning of the session all the way up, as well as links to YouTube videos when they come out. We've also got our lovely list of all of the NPCs our characters have met, and a list of all of the rules and house rules that we are using to make Gelgelim run, mechanically speaking. Cool. You can find that on my itch.io page if you need to search that up, www.pub.itch.io, and there's always a link via our lovely Nightbot. Yeah, so let's get into this. So when last we met, we had our final climactic moments of your journey to Salzfels. You discovered the cause of the ghosts, the bodies of these anti-Christian fighters looking to defend their homeland from the German colonizers who had been buried under the foundations of Castle Salzfels. You managed to divert the soldiers there with a very cleverly placed bush on fire. They caused quite a stir and got all of the soldiers sufficiently distracted that you could sneak into the castle, finish digging up the skeleton of one of these freedom fighters, secret them away to Kirkholm across the river, and performing a funerary service to finally set there, and by sort of a metaphorical extension, the spirits of all of these fighters, and finally letting them rest wherever it is that they cared to rest. You returned to the mainland the next day. Unfortunately, the soldiers in their efforts thought to fight against the ghosts during this final moment, and losses were heavy. But the ghosts were gone. You, all of your family, are healthy and hale at the end of it, and you secured a promise from Annika, second to the commander of the Legion here, that should things go south, you and your family would have a safe place, a sanctuary in the Castle of Salzfels. Feeling, good and also a little regretful of the loss that had happened, you freed your brother Jan from their basement imprisonment and made your way safely back home to Ulbroka, to Abraham and Sarah and the rest of your family, who were overjoyed to see you all back safe and sound. That was the Thursday, 7th of March, 1630, memorial for the martyrs Perpetua and Felicity. It's been a really quiet couple of days. We've gone through Friday, we had Shabbos for our Yids. We had our Saturday hearth renewal meal as all of the family came together and shared joy in that everyone was happy and healthy and whole, and caught up. Ibrahim is known that you are pretty fatigued from your efforts, and so hasn't asked you to do a whole lot of strenuous work, and given you a little bit of free time over these couple of days. What have you been doing? Nobody?
No, it's hard because on the one hand, being given, time off is great and not something you get often. But at the same time, there's that kind of energy in the air that things are about to head south in a rapid, velocity. And so I think Shawl is like, oh, don't worry, I won't work, but at the same time is like very much still working, but like as much out of sight. Like he's in the same way some people skip chores. He is doing chores in a covert way. But he is also keeping his stuff packed and ready. Like he's having everything together, trying to not make it look like he's preparing for the worst, but absolutely, in his actual free time, will be doing that.
Alexis would just be straight up working. He wouldn't be trying to hide or anything. Just to take his mind off of it, of the looming threat, essentially.
Yeah, I think the first thing that Eleanor was thinking to do is just kind of like be making sure that Jan is like okay, like as we've gotten back, because he was in the basement for a couple days. Like that's not a great experience. He hadn't seen the sun for a bit. So yeah, just making sure his recovery like back into like the home and everything is okay. I'm spending a lot of time around him. But also just kind of keeping an eye on like any information like we might get from like the local gossip about like what's happening with the Burgermeister at the moment. Just like, hey, like are they still recruiting people? Like what are they doing at the moment?
Yeah, okay, all right. Layla?
Sorry, I was just checking something with the dates. What date did you say? It was March or May?
So when we pick the action, so it is March, and when we
Okay.
pick the action up, it will be the 9th, the 10th of March. But for now, you've got sort of like a day and a half, a couple of days of like lighter work. So what are you doing with sort of the free time that you've had with the lower expectations?
The same thing I always do. Nothing. I mean, sorry. No, I am probably reading, sleeping. Maybe helping out a little, but
Whoa.
We'll do a little
wait,
more.
that's more than
Yeah.
normal.
Fair enough. Layla's so bored, she's actually working. My goodness. All right, Asher, how are you
Yeah.
spending this time?
I think Asher is just actively preparing. Given that in the last mission or whatever we're calling the last arc, we used some herbs. I think they are just actively foraging for things that might be helpful in the coming days.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay. Great. So you have your lovely family meal together on the 9th, that Saturday evening, end of Shabbos. Midway through the night, you are woken up by someone screaming, coming and like running and screaming and shouting and running closer and closer and closer to your house. Who wakes up first?
I would say Alexis wouldn't be asleep as of late.
All right. So it looks like we got Alexis and we got Asher also, who are like
Yeah.
the first ones
Doctors
to
are light
rouse.
sleepers. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fair enough.
Okay, Layla's awake, but she's not getting up. She's watching.
Heard. Okay. Cool. Layla did her helping, and now she is no longer helping. Understood.
I'm being cautious. If there's like a,
Okay. All right.
there's a ghost face, then I don't want to pretend like I'm asleep. But if it's
Yeah.
something I can handle,
No,
then
reasonable.
then I'll-
I understand. All right. So Alexis, Asher, you both are either already awake or wake very quickly for the shouting and the shrieking. What do?
See, on one hand, I want to treat this like the Appalachia. You didn't see anything, you didn't hear anything, don't look outside, right? We live in supernatural times. But at the same, he would definitely be like at a window, kind of looking out to see what was going on. Definitely not going outside yet, though.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Asher?
Yeah, Asher first of all like jams their glasses onto their face, and immediately like Scooby-Doo style looks to see what is going on through the window.
So it's quite dark out. So it's hard to tell, but as the shouting person gets closer, you recognize the person doing the shouting. It is old Klaus, who is the father of one of your neighbors, who is helpfully also named Klaus. He's been around for like a long time doing this whole farming thing. He is old, he is rickety. You have never seen him sprinting full out. And like his house is like a 15-minute walk away. And he is just sprinting past like towards your house and shouting at the top of his lungs. And as he gets closer, he sounds overjoyed to like an almost absurd degree.
Does he look hurt at all or anything?
So again, it's very dark, so it's hard to tell like his physical condition, because like nobody has any torches out or lights out because it's a farming town. Like everyone's supposed to be asleep. It's the middle of the fucking night. So you can't assess his physical condition. He sounds very, very healthy, which is not something you would expect from a man who's like 70 years old.
Okay. I'm gonna use my heart and ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just gonna get like the gut reading of what do they desire most right now.
Excellent question. He wants someone to share the good news with. That's what he wants most right now.
I don't like that, if I'm honest.
I don't even know that, and pulling on the knowledge that I have that sometimes old animals, maybe old people too, I know more about animals than people in real life, sometimes get like a spurt of energy before something bad is gonna happen to their health, or something might be wrong. I think Asher is going to take some kind of cast iron pan, some kind of kitchen blunt object, and pull her robe around and head out the front door. If I see Alexis, I will.
Like, if you try to go out that door, I'm like keeping you away from it and keeping it shut. No.
I'm just gonna ask quietly.
We're not going out.
So our family's good. Nothing's.
And all that you know of, everyone seems fine. Like I'm sure everyone else in the family is sort of slowly starting to rouse now, because like the shouting is quite loud and it is now outside of your house.
Yeah, I was asking it to awake people.
Okay. Yeah.
In character. I'm like, is our family good?
What? Why would we not be good? It's the middle of the night. What's going on?
Somebody's screaming, and I'm just pretending to be asleep in case something's wrong.
Oh. That's a plan.
I have a question. Because we prepped our to-go bags. Would they be in the house?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
He would definitely go to his to-go bag and pull his bow and a couple arrows just in case.
Okay.
Like, this is not good vibes.
What are you doing?
I have met that man several times. He has never been more than a hobble, and you're seeing him sprint fully at us, sounding happy.
Yeah,
You're
obviously
gonna go out there
something.
trusting that?
I'm not trusting it, but obviously something is wrong. He's not armed.
So something is clearly wrong, but why risk yourself going out there for that?
So
Well,
at this point, go ahead.
Would you rather that someone older and more naive from the town step outside instead?
I'd rather nobody go out and him go somewhere else.
So
Uh,
at this, Ibrahim is going to sort of step into the room, and he is clearly like half asleep still, but he's like, "Have I taught you nothing? Have I taught you nothing, Alexis? No. Someone is in need. We open our door. We are kind and we are hospitable. Open the door. Let's see how this old Klaus is doing."
You've taught me this, but I don't want to put the family at risk doing something reckless here.
But you are putting our family, our spirit at risk performing this act of unkindness. What if he needs our help now? And you turn this person away. That is an awful thing to do. Open the door.
okay, what if we try to find a compromise? Does the door have like a mail slot, perhaps?
No.
No.
Like there's a window that you could open. But like
Yeah.
it doesn't have a window. Like doesn't have a window pane. It's just shuttered, and so you can undo the like latch and open the window if you'd like.
Up to you. Would you
Oh,
like window or door?
definitely.
Door with
Alexis is still
deadbolt?
gonna have like the arrow and the bow and arrow ready to go. It's like, look, it's his farm. He wants the door open. We open it.
Okay. I will take my cast iron pan and open the door just a foot maybe.
So, old Klaus has like run to your house and has started running away like past your house towards the road. But as he hears the door open, he sort of stops screaming and he turns, and you see from sort of the candlelight inside, he has this wild-eyed look, and he looks and he sees you and he's like, Asher, they're coming, and he runs, he books it towards you, moving faster than you thought a man could run.
Should I close it? Wait, who's coming?
They're coming! The angels of the deep! They are coming!
Oh,
I saw it in my
no.
dream!
I'm closing the door.
He gets to the door and he starts hammering. Don't you see they are coming? They will be here soon. It will be the second coming. It will be the second coming. The angels will come. They will save us. They will stop this war. They will bring an era of peace. And he is like, his voice is catching. He starts like coughing a little bit. His voice is sounding like it is wearing itself raw.
They come in the morning.
Yeah, like I said, he's not dangerous. Maybe just annoying.
He sort of is going to continue to like hammer at the door and shout and scream for you to come and to see them come up from the depths.
I think he needs some water. But I'm still
It's like,
though.
yeah.
Yes.
Ibrahim has got his candle and is like, that does not sound like our old Klaus. And I'm worried he is hurting himself.
We could always go to try and restrain him. but-
That is, Ibrahim is like, yeah, why don't you young people do that? I'm gonna go like get something to like, get some like water, like maybe
Which
get
way
a sack or
does the
something.
door open?
do I have any kind of herb or incense that might make one drowsy? Or
I mean,
Tom?
you did spend the last like day and a half
Yeah.
gathering herbs, so like I think absolutely you could have something associated with sleep.
You could take a
chamomile?
Yeah, I think chamomile sounds perfect. Absolutely.
You could take a stick and like make a loop of rope on it, and then just kind of push the stick out and just grab the, or like take a rope and just kind of swing it around and toss it. But I'm still asleep, so yeah.
I
I'm
was just
sorry.
going to hit him over the head with a stick.
But won't that
He's
hurt him?
old though,
He's
so
like
that
100.
might be
So
bad.
so am I. So how hard can I get?
Exactly.
So what
Oh,
even
you're
that?
not-
Maybe let's
I
see if we
know
can
for a
calm
fact
down
that
for-
you can hit way harder than you want people to think.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
don't know.
pleasing some people.
Which way does the door open? Is
The
it
door
open in
is
or
going to, great question. The door opens inward.
That's a shame.
Okay, so yeah, before anyone opens the
Well,
door,
okay, let me clarify. Let me clarify actually. Like, because like the construction of your house is not particularly great, your door can go both ways. It's only supposed to go in, but like you can open it out because like
Okay.
it's not in like it's not like a professional bronzesmith like made the hinges for it. It's
That's
yeah.
fair.
That's entirely fair. Yeah, before anyone opens the door, I would like to use one of my curatio power thingies. I would like to emit an inspiring aura of calm to maybe like calm him down. Maybe we don't have to use violence against an old man.
Absolutely, great. So as you extend that aura of calm, what does that look like when you emit this aura?
I think Eleonora kind of focuses on whatever candlelight that we've now lit the house with. Probably multiple of us that have sources of that at this point. He just kind of watches like the almost like the lens glares, like the kind of glare of the light just kind of emits from each of those and just kind of goes outward. At least like from a camera point of view, like outside of the house, like there might be a little bit more of a glow for a second, just very warmly.
Awesome. Okay, so as this glow emanates and sort of seems to pierce and penetrate out of the walls of the house, old Klaus's breathing slows, the shouting like gets a little bit quieter, the coughing is less frequent, the beating and the battering sort of slows in rhythm until it finally just stops. And then you hear him collapse outside.
All right,
Oh boy.
let's get him inside.
Did we ever get
Yeah.
rope or anything?
Oh, now that he's passed out, we can probably take a little bit of time.
Yeah, rope is around.
Alexis would probably get some. We would drag him in, bring him to a chair or something.
All right.
Just
So you
as a precaution, like tie his hands up.
Yes, you open the door and he looks so much smaller than he did a minute ago. Like so much more in proportion to his like old man body, in that it is small and it is weak and no longer so like dangerously full of exuberance. You bring him inside, he is quite light and frail. You tie him, the rope is almost bigger than his wrists. You get him secured in a chair. I'm gonna guess that Asher's gonna sort of take a little diagnostic look.
Yeah, I'm gonna check him out.
So it's a little hard to do in just candlelight, or usually you do in these examinations when you have a little bit more sunlight, but his pulse is sort of erratic, his breathing is still ragged, he's got some blood on and you see other signs that are reminding you of the outbreak that you were treating in Plessy just a week ago. But with one very notable exception, which is that under his fingernails, there is like a little purplish bloom.
Just by underneath his fingernails, you mean this part or this underneath part?
Like underneath the nail, it's underneath the nail, but on top of the flesh of the finger,
Okay.
there's this bloom.
Like you'd been scratching at something.
No,
This-
I think
No,
it's like
like under-
have you ever like jammed your hand and then your nail turns like a color?
Oh yeah,
Uses
like
those- I think that's what...
in the nail bed.
Not in the nail bed, but you got the clear part of your nail,
Yes.
right? So it is under the nail, on top of the skin. There is something like blooming, a purplish bloom, but it is not coming from the end of the nail. It is coming from like the centerest region of the finger. This is not a thing that you have seen before.
Okay, so firstly, I would like to, if I can, like, lay a cool rag over his head, just because he is breathing erratically and just trying to, keep things as calm as possible. And then, I think I would relay the information that the symptoms are similar to what I have seen before, just so everybody knows to be cautious and the like. And then I think maybe I just take a closer look at this bloom in his nail, see if I recall it as like a marking I've seen on a like on any other part of a body for an illness, or poisoning, or eating a plant that you're not supposed to.
So it's very hard to tell from the outside, but this does not look like something you've seen before. Certainly not on a human.
Okay.
Like if you wanted, you could try to like remove the nail to get a better look at whatever this is.
That will certainly wake him up.
But yeah, that would likely wake the man up.
Okay.
Now, you do have those chamomile herbs, and so you could sort of turn that into I mean, I'm going to say like souped up hypersleep tea to help him like either continue being asleep or like exist in a very low state of consciousness.
I feel that it is important to me, or I guess to Asher as well, both, that I would want to ask for someone's consent before I take their nail off of them, as that is very painful.
That's very sensible. That's very sensible. I can understand that information.
Is that something, knowing what I know about these other symptoms that he's exhibiting, like would it even be possible to like communicate with him rationally?
So, from based on your experience with, like, if this is similar to the thing that you were treating in Plessy, which it certainly seems to be the case, like, these fits of, like, hallucination and mania or whatever they're not constant. They come and then they go, and they come and then they go. And they're usually sort of like a turning point, a halfway point for whatever this disease is.
Okay. Okay, I will relay the plan to everybody so everybody can give input on this. So here's what I would like to do. Get some smelling salts, wake him up, because I'd like to tell him what's going on. We should be able to communicate with him. Thank you, Eleanor, for calming him down. We should be able to talk this out with him. He's just got this funky thing. I'm going to hold up his, like, limp hand on this nail. And I really want to check it out, but I am going to have to take his nail off, which I know is not a great feeling, so I'd like to ask him if that's okay. And then, do we have any palinka or something similarly potent that he can drink before I do that to him? Anybody got liquor?
Yes, liquor is available.
Sorry.
Okay, great.
Palinka is an Eastern European liquor.
I was about to ask for that clarifying question. Thank you kindly.
Yeah.
So while Palinka is not necessarily on hand, there is like moonshine essentially.
Yeah, Palinka is, I think, basically Hungarian moonshine. So
okay, great.
Very similar.
Yeah.
The more
Great.
you know.
Yes. Moonshine is accessible. It is not Hungarian variety. It is Lithuanian variety. Whatever the
Wonderful.
particular word for that type of moonshine is. More research needed here. That is available. Ibrahim fetches it for you.
Okay. Is everyone okay with this? Does everyone feel safe if I wake him up?
I think it's a good idea to ask, and we might want to ask him more about, I don't know, the angels of the deep. That sounds very strange.
I was treating something like this. It seems like it might be the same thing. But people have kind of like intermittent fits of hallucinations and given what I know about that, I think that might be the case. It's possible that he might not actually remember what he has seen, but I would implore you to ask him whatever you feel like you should once he's awake.
Okay.
All right. TJ has done the research. I don't know how, unfortunately, my Romanian pronunciation is pretty garbage at the moment,
Yeah,
so I will
I
have to
was
look up the
about to say
phonetics
that.
later. But thank you for doing that research for me. Thank you very much. So, applying the smelling salts, yes?
Yeah, or whatever
Great.
we would have
Cool.
to wake
Yeah.
someone up. Yeah.
As a physician, you've got a smelling salts or a found smelling salts, something that works identically. You rouse him. Eleanor, are you still emitting your calming aura?
Yeah.
Cool. So you rouse him around. He sort of starts a little bit and like shakes and like rattles in his chair, and he looks down and he looks at you and he's like, "What? Why? What? What? I was just asleep.
Beast, what a
Why am I
beast.
tied up here?"
Beast.
Sorry, Klaus. How are you feeling? Is your head clear?
My head is pounding.
Okay.
I have such a headache.
I know, and I'm sorry. And I'm gonna fetch him a glass of water first. I'll actually hold it so he can drink it without his hands being untied. You're not in trouble or anything. You are safe here. I just believe that
Why
you
am I tied up?
You are tied up because you are having a bit of a flight of fancy. Do you recall?
I had dinner with Klaus and with what is his name? I always forget his name. What is his name? Goodness. With Klaus and with Paul, and then I go to sleep and I wake up and I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, my feet hurt.
Yes,
He like
you ran
looks at his
quite a
feet and he's
bit.
like, and they are bloody. Like you've got like stones like have made like serious gashes in his feet.
Did I go get his family?
You certainly could.
Yeah,
That
would
sounds
be
like a
lovely.
good idea.
Okay, bye.
Right. Cool.
That's
You've
what
been
we
to Klaus and Paul's house many times. You know the way even in the dark. Not an issue. We'll see you back in like half an hour.
Yeah, I'm just getting out of here right now because I don't want to see
The-
the whole role
Take one of the take the pan, and I don the cast iron to you.
Oh yeah, and I like run back in to take it, and then I'm out of there so quickly. Yeah, move that. You didn't know I
Perfect.
could move that fast.
All right. Back to Asher and Klaus.
Yeah, so I do believe, Mr. Klaus, that you may have something along the lines of kind of like an infection for the brain.
You're speaking in the doctor words.
My
I-
apologies. They do teach us the doctor words. You might be a bit sick.
I'm sick. What kind of sick makes me walk all the way to your house? And he like coughs up a bit, and there's a little bit more blood coming out.
Is there a name for what I was treating last?
Yes, there is. I was just looking it up. It's not what it is. Goodness, my apologies. Anthony's Fire. St. Anthony's Fire.
Yes. People call this St. Anthony's Fire. Such a fun name, I know. You are going to be fine. tonight. I just think there's this thing you have in your nail there. I'm gonna point to the finger on my own hand so he can look at his own hands himself.
You
There's
can't
this.
because they're tied. Remember?
Okay. Well, I will indicate to him. There's this thing on your hand here, under your nail, and I suspect it's not quite a bruise. I suspect it's something that you ingested or breathed in, fungus or like food poisoning sort of thing. That has.
Remember that we are like at least 150 years away from germ theory.
Okay. Well, yeah,
So-
it may have came from something that you've eaten or something that you touched. I don't quite know. But I'd like to take a look at it. However, to do that most accurately, I will need to take your nail off, and I didn't want to
What?
do that. I know. I'm not gonna take the finger, just the nail. The nails do grow back.
I have to. What are you talking about? I have to see this.
I won't do it. Okay. I will untie you, but you need to be chill. Can you be chill?
Yes, I'm very calm.
Okay. I will release his hands.
Okay. He releases his hands. He does not like do anything drastic or dangerous, but he does sort of like rub his wrists a little bit, and then he looks at his hands and he's like, "Oi! What is that is
I would love to know. I would love to know. I
He's
would
like
love to know what it is.
takes a minute and like thinks about his options, and he sort of looks at the door and he looks at you and he looks at his hands and he looks at the door and he looks at you and he looks at his hands and he looks at his hands again.
You
He's
are
like,
welcome to run away from me, but
I accept. You have drink. something
we've
very
already
strong.
planned that.
Good. He's
We have
gonna, like,
Zuika, friend.
thank you kindly.
And do you have something to keep his that's too modern medicine. Just to keep his
here.
stomach full. Do we have any like rugula? Something?
I have something to keep his
Sweet.
teeth from grinding.
What would you have at the moment? You would probably have March. Rugula
So
is
we didn't
little-
invent blood sugar yet. We're
no,
not there
blood sugar
yet.
has not been invented, but like something easy on the stomach, absolutely. I'm sure there's a kugel around.
Wish that were me.
I know, right? But
Alright.
I'm sure that there's I'm sure there's like a potato kugel around.
Okay.
That can be fetched, and Sarah will get a portion and like give it to old Klaus. He will happily be like, what the fuck is this? This is like Jew food or whatever. But he will also eat it and like be very happy for the nutrients.
And what if it was? If it is.
I mean, lamentably, at this point in time, the Lutherans, I believe, also are teaching that the Jews are the ones that killed Jesus. So
Well, the food didn't kill him. So.
the food certainly
You
did
know,
not. You are
it is
absolutely
what it
correct.
It wasn't the food.
did not. You're right. You're absolutely correct. And he does eat the thing. He does eat the
Yeah.
thing. He is
Um,
like unaccustomed to it, but he does eat it. He takes a lot of twigs from this liquor that you have handed him as well. And then he's like, okay, he like sort of shoves his hand in your face and is like, okay, just do it.
Now, who would like the fun job of being physician's assistant today? I look at my 3 friends that are still here.
Easy, I'll get it done.
Okay, so I need you to hold him steady so he does not squirm and hurt himself further.
So we get the rope back.
The rope will only help so much because when he moves, he might be able to move the chair with him,
Rope
even if he's tied to
and
it.
arms.
You need to
I
hold
understand. Yes, here.
Thank
And
you, Shawl.
Before I start tying him down, I offer just this like strap of small piece of leather. Open up.
Oh, good thinking. Like,
well,
Klaus will take it.
I like all my teeth, yeah? Figured you'd like yours, and
Time is not like uncomfortably tight, but trying to get as much
Yeah.
coil out of
Klaus
this as we
is
can.
like rather terrified at the moment, but he's like trying to like help you out as much as possible to like properly secure him.
Mm-hmm. And then I think primarily he's going to focus on securing the shoulder and wrist. rather than their whole rest of the body. It feels like that'd be a little over, oh, I didn't even grab his hips or anything. But yeah, just like holding that arm in place, make sure nothing extraneous. Gives him a reassuring pat on the shoulder.
Mhm.
We'll look back. We're ready, Doctor. Is that okay to call you Doctor?
Now, yes, I didn't expect it from you, but you can.
You
call
have
me.
your. I just want to check if you have your,
Yes, Shaw. I am a doctor. Yeah.
Oh, good. Someone's got to be.
Okay. Now, places that I thought I would be tonight on a hospital website, looking at how a nail is to be removed, was not on my bingo
From what
board.
I understand, it is a kind of yankum situation, like teeth.
Like,
Yeah. I wanted to see if it would be better to yank or to like try to like cut around it. Because
So-
like
with cutting around it, that definitely is possible, but I doubt that you have a blade that's going to be sharp enough
Yeah.
to do the job
Scalpel.
without like taking the finger out with it.
Yeah.
This is 100% grab a plier. Yank.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is if I can get some cold water, I'm gonna soak his finger in cold water for a minute or two just to numb it a little bit and to like tighten up the skin, the pores. And then I'm going to take I forget the name of the grabby tool, and I'm gonna not. There's one with
Fancy
like a
medical
flat.
one.
Yeah, there's one with like it kind of looks like a duck bill. Some of
Mhm.
those I'm gonna hold his wrist kind of with my offhand and give him a countdown from 3 and yank it up.
Cool. So yeah, the soaking works. You give it a yank. He screams in pain. I'm not going to reproduce that here. You're welcome.
I'm sorry, Klaus.
So he's like upset and like in a lot of pain, at least in the moment, and he is still like in pain afterwards. But like the calming aura is doing a lot of work. The alcohol is doing a lot of work. The leather strap is doing a tremendous amount of work. The nail is off. Old Klaus is like still with you. He's still conscious. The shaking and like the writhing sort of stops. And Shaw, you're able to like work a little bit less hard to hold the arm in place.
You took that like a champ. I would literally be crying. My makeup would be running. I'm gonna stick.
Of course I did.
I'm gonna
Of
let
course.
his finger be back in that cold water for another minute or two to help soothe the pain, and then I will examine it.
All right. So you soak it in the water a little bit longer. And you pull the finger out, the hand out, and take a look at it. There is something growing out of his finger. And now that you've removed the nail, it has like popped up and like swelled a little bit. It looks like the cap of a mushroom.
I knew it was a fucking fungus, cause I did zombie mushroom time. I did that. I
Dude,
knew.
I've just been sitting here. It's like, oh, I have my list of differentials, my ideologies. Like it is all in here. But I just need to be quiet.
But it is a very like lusciously purple color of mushroom, which is not a color of mushroom you have ever seen before in your life.
Okay. That is very worrisome. The brighter in color something wild is, the less I trust it. That is most definitely a mushroom. Klaus, are you fond
What?
of mushrooms? Eating them, grilling them, picking them, anything
Well,
like that?
Paul will find wild mushrooms sometimes, but we know what mushrooms to avoid.
Have you ever seen one of this color before?
No. Am I
Um,
okay?
I think I think so.
Where's
We need-
Klaus? Where is Paul? I need Klaus and I need Paul.
Layla
I
has
need,
gone to get them. They are coming.
Okay.
I'm sure as soon as as
Good.
fast as their feet can carry them.
Good. Okay. Good. He is on the edge of losing it. Like that calming aura is doing a tremendous amount of work here to keep him from hyperventilating and having another panic attack. But this man is freaking out. So we're gonna do a little smash cut over to Layla. So you've headed over to Klaus and Paul's house. This is Klaus, the younger, adult Klaus as opposed to old Klaus. And the house is dark, quiet. Nobody's shouting, nobody's screaming. The lights are on.
I'm going to knock on a door.
You knock on the door.
Okay.
There's not a response.
Not louder. I don't want to just barge people's home. They're sleeping, which I'm hoping they're sleeping.
It's very sensible, very fair. You knock louder for a little bit longer, and then you hear someone very groggily going, "What? Someone sort of stumbles to the door and opens it and winces a little bit away from the light of your candle. Who, Layla? What's wrong? Why? What? It's the middle of the night. This is Paul, by the way, Klaus's husband.
Klaus is over our house right now. Old
Klaus is upstairs. Old Klaus. Okay, old Klaus. Wait, what? Where was he? Was at your house?
Yeah, he was running and shouting and
what? Layla, I have known that man for 30 years and he has never run a day in his life.
Yeah, I know. He looked like he's 50 or 40 or something. He was fast and now he's not. I just decided to come and get you to kind of.
Okay, I have to wake Klaus up. Can you wait? Actually, you have a candle. Can you come in light? I don't know where the flint is. He waves you inside and lights a candle from your candle. He also doesn't look great. He has sort of a sickly pallor to his complexion. He's a man in his prime. He's usually very strong, doing a lot of farm work. He does not look super great. But he lights his candle from yours. He heads to the second floor, rouses Klaus up. They wake up, and who's also in the house? Rose is not here. Okay, but they also they wake up. The two kids who are still here, Mary Elizabeth and Brooke. The two younger folks are very tired. But they look fine. The kids look fine. It's just Klaus and Paul who are looking, and Klaus also is looking a little bit sickly. But they're up. They get their two kids, and they're okay, Layla, take us to old Klaus.
Yeah. Are you feeling all right?
No, I've been. No. Paul has been throwing up past shortly before dinner. That was Klaus. Paul is just not feeling under the weather. It's been doing a lot of caregiving. Isn't feeling super hot, but that's
we have one of my family is a doctor.
Oh.
And
leeches? No, thank you.
We were thinking of it could be a strange fever or something.
A fever? Like a plague?
I'm not sure if it's a plague. I don't think Klaus would be in our house sitting comfortably.
Take us to old Klaus. Take us to old Klaus right now, Layla, please.
Follow me. Do you need me to carry one of the children, or
no? They're fine. The kids, the youngest kid is 8 and the oldest is 13. So
okay.
Their sleep has been interrupted, and so they're less human than children normally are. But they're still functional enough to move anyways. So the five of you head back to the house. Old Klaus is still taking it mostly like a champ, trying really hard to hold it together. Any else things to do, questions to ask before the rest of the family gets here?
No, I think I would just continue to assure him that this is treatable because I have treated it before.
Yeah, Klaus is very much needing that reassurance right now, and he is relieved, but he's also still like pretty freaked out about like whatever the fuck is growing underneath his fingernails.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're just gonna get this. We're gonna get this out of you, and likely we should monitor very closely what you're eating for the next few weeks. Keep it very strict.
Okay. I heard, Asher. Thank you, kindness. At this moment, Layla comes in with Klaus and with Paul and with Rook and with goodness, what is her name? Mary Elizabeth. So the four of them come in, and the Rook and Mary Elizabeth are like, Grandpa! And they're like run up and they're like hugging him, and they're like, Grandpa, what happened? And old Klaus is like, I'm fine. Is fine. Something Asher's treated before. Say Anthony's fire or something. Klaus and Paul are like very afraid, but a little bit relieved. But they're like, okay.
Do I spy that they look unwell?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're like, your house is a lot better lit.
Yeah.
Like now,
Layla
even like
would have pointed it out too, like almost right away.
yeah. So these two are looking like they're sort of in the early, like potentially in like the early stages of St. Anthony's fire, where they are starting to not feel particularly well, and this is a thing that could get like worse. Not always going to lead to like mania, like with old Klaus, but certainly could.
Do you all typically eat as a family?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay. Something you have eaten was bad, and that's why he is sick, and that is why you are pale as a ghost.
So I do want to interject a little bit. Knowing the source of St. Anthony's fire is not something that happens for another 100 years also.
They didn't figure that out yet? Could that
No.
not be logically deduced?
No.
That it had to get him somehow?
Yeah. Again, we don't have germ theory yet. That's like a ways away. Like, folks did not figure out. For the listeners, we're having this conversation. St. Anthony's fire is another term for ergotism, which is a disease caused by eating grain that has been infected with a particular fungus.
That's why we had the Salem witch trials.
But that is absolutely one of the arguments for the Salem witch trials as to what happened. This is magical ergotism because we've got weird shit on the fingernails. Because so obviously not going to be fully consistent with the medical record of actual real life ergotism, at least for the case of old Klaus.
Okay.
But
I will edit. So I'm gonna get this out of him, but you guys look unwell also. So because you're sharing a home, you're sharing meals. If you could all take a few moments to check each other and come look at this and see if you see anything like this on each other's person, and I'll have them come look at the mushroom.
Klaus and Paul take a look. Mary Elizabeth and Rook also take a look, and they sort of recoil away because the nail is
it's gross.
It's gross. The kids are like, "Oh, ew, Grandpa! Where'd your finger go?" And Klaus is like, "It's fine. I'm fine. Hail Harji is a horse." But Klaus and Paul they take a look. They're also now quite freaked out because this is really, really bizarre. They have not seen any mushrooms or anything like this. However, there was something weird happening near to their house.
Okay.
There was something pushing up from under the ground, and that appeared yesterday.
And now you have a purple mushroom nail, and Klaus
and Paul are not feeling well. Yeah,
is screaming in the night. Okay. Tell us more about what this was pushing from the ground. How large was it? Where was it?
So it was right. So we're by the path leading up to the Burmester's estate, and it was like next to our house and by the road a little bit, maybe 20 yards away, and it was like a little bit of the ground had like a bumped up overnight. Like there was all of a sudden a little hill there where there wasn't one before. Not very tall, like a few inches taller than the rest of the ground around it, but it certainly was not there before.
Did anyone like dig at it or anything like that? Did you see any animals grazing from the area?
No, the goats wouldn't go near it.
Smart
The goats
goats.
wouldn't go near it. We poked it with a stick. Seemed to be like a rock under there or something.
Very real.
We figured it was like maybe we just hadn't noticed there was a little hill there and got about what we were doing with the rest of our day.
Okay. I still think it would probably be wise, unfortunately, Klaus, Elder Klaus, to cut this off of you.
Cut the
The
finger. You said I
mushroom,
was
not the finger, the mushroom off of the nail.
okay.
Your finger, I promise I will not take that from you unless you actively ask me to do so.
Okay, okay, Asher. So you want to cut this thing off? Are you going to do that with all of my fingers?
Well, you only have the mushroom on the one finger.
No, it's on several fingers.
Oh, I thought it was on one finger.
Oh, my apologies. I did not state that. Yeah, it's on several of his fingers on both hands.
That complicates things.
We might need more liquor.
I'm gonna go get some water.
I don't want to take all. Can I need to like pull someone aside to talk this out morally.
Dude, who's am I the moral? Oh no, am I the moral heart of this group? Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you or it's Jan, I
Come on,
think.
Grandpa.
So
Oh,
Grandpa.
so I could probably be your father, but Grandpa is anyway.
I certainly hope not. That would be weird. I really don't want to pry this man's nails off one by one. Because I from what I know about mushrooms and plants, usually they're kind of like rooted in there in the ground, right? So if they've come from his nails, I worry that technically, really, even if I cut them all out, they still might be in there. So I mean, I wasn't lying. I wouldn't lie to a patient. I've treated this before, but I've never seen the whole mushroom thing. And it's quite gross. And actually, I feel quite sick to the stomach, having looked at it for this long, and I'm quite tired.
Easy. No, it is very late and also very early. We don't know enough about this. Even you who knows much about this, much more than I'd expected you to know. We need to understand where this has come from. Learn more about what they've eaten, where they've been, if they were holding anything. They're
Well, they
Cursed
went and
or
they
something.
poked that thing with a stick, which inclines me to say that I do not want to go poke it with a stick. I want to maybe light it on fire from a safe 10 to 15 feet away.
Well, we can go and find this thing and understand it. And then perhaps, for now, you could help prevent the spread of a thing until we understand how it fully hurts somebody. How it grows.
the normal course of like medicine for St. Anthony's Fire at this time, as I understand it, is bed rest and food and like preventing them from doing some, like preventing them from like giving into their mania or any psychosis. So like if they get into an energetic state, you like tie them down and hold them down and keep them from hurting themselves or something
Okay.
else.
Yeah.
But like it's mostly just like bed rest.
Stay inside, eat your oatmeal, take a walk around the block twice a day. Don't
Exactly.
scream.
And like because this is coming from infected grain, usually getting a different food source like is enough to clear up the problem. It just is an issue if it's not caught early enough and spreads to a whole bunch of people.
Okay. But we don't know that it comes from food because
You don't know
society
that it
didn't
comes
get
from
that
food.
far yet.
But because the typical course of action is to monitor the patient and give them like good food that is because like
Hardy,
you
yeah.
exactly that's hearty. That ends up being a fairly effective way to treat it as long as the ergotism doesn't like do a mean thing and be worse.
Or, kind of at the very least, like, I feel like Asher would know to, like, treat the other things that are happening, like all the gashes and stuff on his feet, so there's not, like, some other little opportunistic disease that's gonna decide to jump in there, too, and have a party.
Regardless, even before pulling his nail, I wanted him to have a little food in his stomach, so I think, in general... I don't think that pulling all of his nails off is the right course of action right now, but like keeping an eye on him, definitely is. But I also worry that if Paul and Klaus Younger are sick, are the kids going to be sick as well?
So Layla's going to go get the food and whatever because she's actively avoiding this room where you're pulling nails and talking about.
So fair.
Super fair. Sarah has like at this point woken up and is sort of rustling around trying to get some like food together for like not just like the people who are sick, but also the rest of the family who like are awake and probably need breakfast if they can stomach food after that nail pulling. So like there is food available. As soon as she sees you come into the kitchen, she's like, Leela, another pair of hands. Perfect. Come here, blah, blah, blah.
I'm here to help.
And she makes you help her cook.
I am helping. Like,
yeah.
I'm doing my best to help. You've never seen me help so helpfully.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get some food. Klaus definitely old Klaus, is happy to have a little bit more food. As are everybody else. A little bit of food, a little bit of something to drink is helping everybody sort of cool their nerves a little bit and like calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I think we should go check out this this bump in the ground. Like I said, from a safe 10 to 15 foot distance.
So it's
I don't want to touch
pre-dawn. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to wait for the sun to come up?
I'm briefing everybody for what we're gonna do in the coming day. I understand if people aren't comfortable doing that. I also think that everyone afflicted should remain at home, and I don't know whether we want to keep them here or help them return to Klaus and Paul's home. But I'm open.
Well, if we return them there, they can show us kind of exactly where everything started from. So maybe returning them is the best idea.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll help them back, and just make sure that we have someone check in on them every day. I'm going to bandage him up from the rutting and the energy, and but really all they can do is rest, a lot of meat and potatoes, and just try not to overexert. The usual stuff.
Yeah,
you're a doctor, but you should probably check in on them every day.
If we'll be here, I'm happy to do that.
Every day, my goodness.
It's a 15-minute walk. It's good for the heart.
There's chores to do here.
Okay, the chores can be done, and I can go check on them. There are 24 hours in a day.
And you need to sleep and eat, and you need to make up for Layla's chores, and...
Okay.
It's like, wait, please, no, we will send Rook over to help in exchange for the care for my father.
There you go.
Okay.
And I've done plenty of chores today. I've done like 2.
Wait, how old is Rook?
Rook's like 8.
Okay, I'd like to shake the hand of this 8-year-old. Be like, you are the best child I have ever met. Thank you for washing my dishes in advance.
I know.
Good man.
So we have to
Right.
let children. We have to allow the children to learn too. They can't learn if we do everything for them.
I mean, and like
And
these
you
kids are
provide
used to doing like chores. Like they live on a farm, they work on a farm. Like that's like what they do most of the time. Like this is not new stuff for them necessarily.
and truly
Alright.
you provide much space for learning.
I try my best.
All right. So Klaus and Paul are gonna like heft up half of old Klaus and sort of try to carry him back to the house after like a couple of hours pass, and it's like actually like light enough out that you can see without a candle. The rest of you are coming with, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So as you head back, 15-minute walk. As you get to the house, Klaus and Paul sort of stop in their tracks as they get like maybe and sort of as they turn around the bend and like are able to see the front door of their house and the road leading to the Burmester's estate. And they sort of like stop and like turn back to the rest of you and they're like, that was much shorter yesterday.
It grew?
You can, in fact, if you step a little further, you can see it's now about 4 feet. Like this hill thing is like now like 4 feet tall, and it is like big. Like the radius of, and it's almost like a perfect circle of hill, and the radius is like 15, 20 feet. That's
Fire.
just like
I'm not even kidding.
up the
Fire.
ground.
Fire. Asher pulls their shirt over their nose. I don't even want to breathe in its direction. I hate it. I don't know what it is. I hate it.
Klaus is going to turn to you. Are we safe to live in our house? What is that? Do you know what that is, Doctor?
My expertise is with people, plants, the occasional cat that will cooperate, not giant things coming from the ground. But I will say that the vibe is bad.
You want me to walk them back to our house?
Do we have
think we need
space?
big. I don't
like,
know.
You don't necessarily have space inside the house, but like there's like covered spaces, like your house is gonna have like awnings essentially off to the side where you can work in the shade and like do a bunch of like labor and prep work, and you can set them up pretty comfortably there, and then cram them inside at night to sleep if necessary. Like you can make room for them.
Yeah, I'd say that would be
Okay, let's go.
a safe move.
Cool. Layla takes off. Klaus and Paul are just like as they carry their dad back.
Layla's descendant becomes an amusement park tour guide after
Pretty
this
much.
lineage of experience.
That would not surprise me.
That was just, the experts should look at it first. And then when I come back, you all know what you're doing, and I could just stand back and watch you do the work.
Like, all right, writers, how was that right?
I really should have taken Layla's path in life. I don't know why I did all this.
All right, so it is now just the 4 of you left behind with this weird dome that has, well, again, it doesn't look like, it's just like Earth. It's just like up higher in sort of a hill formation. And you can see some sort of like cracks in the earth, like at the very, very, very top of this hill thing. So if you could potentially see if there was something underneath the dirt, but you would have to like scale the hill a little bit in order to take a proper look.
I feel like I've done a lot of talking this episode, done a lot of stuff. Also, Asher doesn't want to touch it. So, anybody else want to take?
Please. All right, Dave. Gets some cloth out and ties it over his face.
bandit mask more than actual preventative filtration method. And
Do you need help?
no, I can get up a hill just fine.
Okay, it's just.
I'm not that old.
I know.
you-
It's not an old thing. It's an alone thing.
But
Look,
also,
if
you
you
are
want to-
very old.
Yeah. He brandishes the stick towards you.
He knows that the Jews were innocent in the whole Jesus ordeal because he was actually there.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's a deep cut.
And I told him not to go to the cemetery. No, too dark. Anyway, or I wallop you all over the head. Yeah, you can come up with me if you want, but apparently it's very dangerous. I'm not going to force anyone to come with me.
Yeah, I just don't want you to be stuck there alone. I'll do the same, like
Alright.
filter thing.
All right.
Filter.
The best we can.
See, y'all put on some COVID ineffective face masks and head to the hill. You climbing it?
Yep.
Cool. You
I
climb
know.
it. It feels like a regular hill, albeit one that wasn't there yesterday. When you get to the top, however, you see that the soil is sort of broken and given way, and you can see something underneath. The soil is only like maybe 8 inches deep here, and there is like, it looks like some sort of like gray stone, but it's it's very smooth, like smooth like a river rock, not like a big boulder that you might find or when you're plowing your fields. And it's big. Like throughout the cracks in the soil, it looks to be the same rock.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
In my travels back and forth, I know I've gotten a really good workout, but I haven't seen any other like signs of mushrooms growing anywhere else that they shouldn't be as I travel.
Excellent question. No.
Okay.
Apart from this weird hill thing, you don't see any other mushrooms like growing really at all. Like mushrooms don't usually grow like here and around the houses.
Do they look like the mushrooms that we saw at the at the castle?
Do which mushrooms look like the mushrooms you saw at the castle?
Did you say there were a bunch of mushrooms outside of the castle?
Yes, there were. Yes, there were. There was an unusual number of mushrooms, although the mushrooms were of many different varieties.
Okay. Those were 2 questions. I wanted to know if that was what we saw at.
No, those are 2 totally great questions. Thank you for asking them.
Okay.
So, Saul, Eleonora, you're at the top of the hill. There's this big stone thing underneath you.
I see why they poked it with a stick.
Yeah.
Very
The thing that we shouldn't do. Though, now that it's so big, I wonder if we could do something so that it pokes it and we're far distance away, like a good 10 feet or so away.
Maybe like throwing a rock up in the air and hoping it doesn't come down till we're a good bit away.
Maybe. I can't think of anything more precise than that off the top of my head.
Alright.
Keep
Keep a few-
back.
I always keep a few good stones on me.
Right. Layla has
Um,
come back in this time and sees sees Saul on top of the hill, preparing to throw a rock at the hill that he is standing on top of.
And
What are you doing?
it's like before he does that, I do want to ask one of my standard power questions because I took agility and I haven't been able to use it
Okay.
yet.
All right.
What is about to happen? What kind of feeling do I get?
Great question. Great question. So you have two feelings and they are conflicting. And the first feeling is that this is fucked. Like whatever this is bad news bears. Like not even bad news bears. This is like bad news grizzly. The second feeling, however, is that throwing a rock at a hill is throwing a rock at a hill. It's not going to do anything. Like there is something weird and bad about this, but throwing a rock at it is not going to make the sky fall or like do something real nasty.
Okay. Just getting the vibe, whatever vibe I can before he throws the rock. But yeah, Leonardo doesn't get like a sinking feeling that this is like going to cause a big problem.
Yeah, no.
Go let him do it.
No, that is not the feeling at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Shaw, you throwing the rock?
Yes, but with the express purpose of up so it comes down with some velocity enough to hit a sharp edge. And
you're still on top of the hill, correct?
Yeah, with the intention of throwing it and then getting a little bit out of the way.
Okay, great. All right, heard. Layla, looks like you have a question.
Yeah, I was calling to them like, what are you two doing up there on the weird hill?
We're going to handle the rock first, and then we'll get to your question.
Okay.
So you toss the rock up, and you step aside, and the rock lands down, hits this like stone part or whatever. The sound is weird though. Like nothing happens. The hill doesn't like shake or shimmer or shudder or whatever. Like it's just it's the hill is just like there. But the sound of the rock that you threw hitting whatever rock is underneath this ground doesn't sound right. You know, there's a sound that you expect when you throw two rocks at each other. It's like a high pitch, like a clack. And this is more like clung. It's deep. There is a lot of resonance to this sound. And it also like might be hollow.
That wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but
Yeah, not quite right.
the thing's wrong. We're going to throw a rock at the thing to see if it would burst or something, you know.
Why would you? You're too close to it if it bursts. When something bursts, it will burst outward. And even if it collapsed inward, you would fall. But if it bursts outward, it would hit you. You need to be further away.
Well, that's why we threw up the rock and then ran.
I don't think
point there.
Then something can burst.
We were going to find out how large it could burst. Why were you not here?
Because I was walking the family back to somewhere safe. What were you doing?
Well, I was being decidedly unsafe. Someone has to be. It's called getting the job done.
You need to get away from the. Oh my God! You're gonna get yourself hurt, and then I'm gonna have to get someone to come help you.
Yes, well, you know, that's why we have Asher somewhere around here. Anyway, that didn't...
But don't get hurt. You're too old to get hurt.
Are you actually concerned about me now?
No, I just think you're too old to get hurt. You should be, I don't know, not going back.
Enough of you, no. Anyway, it didn't burst. It's hard and it sounds hollow. We learned something, right? Did we learn something?
Does it sound like a deep hollow or like a shallow hollow? Like, do you think it'll goes all the way to the actual ground?
I think my ears are that good. I can get another rock.
You are that good.
Everyone's been very nice to me. Am I dying?
Well, hopefully
Good job,
not.
old man.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded deeper than I would expect, but also we weren't expecting it to sound like that.
Well,
Yeah,
what
I
if it
would.
had been a giant mushroom, and then you would have, I don't know, poked the mushroom, and I don't like giant mushrooms. They're
Yeah,
creepy.
that's kind of what I was trying to think through my head. Like, whenever you like stomp on a small one, all that like little like dusty stuff
Mhm.
comes off. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
Well, I don't know. I know if this thing, like even if it folded open, we would have to be. She's like trying to figure out how far to get away from if it blows up. But then she just kind of shakes her head because she's not sure how much it would last.
Layla, actually, I think you're the perfect for this. Can you make me a perception roll, please?
Um,
It's going to be a d20 plus a d6 if you have something relevant. And I'm going to give you a d6 for reasons that I am not going to tell you.
okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm just trying to remember because I wrote it down and then I lost what it. I'm just going to give myself the D6 that you gave me because I don't know if I have anything. I appreciate that. Let's see what I get for my. Y'all tell this digital dice roller to be really nice to me, please.
Please be nice.
Okay, go.
I didn't want to chime in because I know I'm cursed with online dice rollers.
Okay, let me find a one that can roll 2 dice or 1 dice. I'm not talking correctly. Roll.
You're fine.
Dice. Because I can't find my dice.
In my Wednesday game, we perform like every episode, and I've failed my roll for every single performance we've done the entire campaign so far.
That's pretty impressive. My
That is
cat
what
off.
Can we see?
So
that?
that's a 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So, Layla, you have like something of an engineering background, and you can tell like the slope of this, like there's more to come up from underneath the ground. This is like the very top of something, but like based on the curvature, you can see that whatever this thing is even broader than what you have seen already.
It's like a cursed.
It
or
looks like what?
A cursed iceberg.
You could certainly call it a cursed iceberg. I'm not going to stop you from that. Absolutely not.
It's an Earth pimple. The Earth has a pimple.
You could think of it as an Earth pimple as well. Absolutely.
Those are volcanoes.
You know, the most dangerous type of acne you've ever heard of in your life. You don't know like anything else about it, but you know that it is. You can tell that it is it is bigger than it appears, even though it is already like quite large.
I'm trying to think. Would she know what a volcano was?
No.
Okay.
There aren't any volcanoes like for a long ways from where y'all are.
Yeah.
Italy?
Yeah, Italy is not a thing, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Italy has been lost to the sands of time after like
Mhm.
the events 100 years ago. So no, like
Eat your heart out, Vesuvius. We got you first.
And I don't think I would know what an iceberg was.
you would also not know what an iceberg or a glacier was. No.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna tell them that it's like the ground has a big rock pimple. It's it's under there more. It's going to get bigger. It's hollow, so I don't think we want to squeeze it. Or, I don't know what's inside of there. It sounds hollow, but it might not be hollow further down.
If it's, do you know why it is rising? Like, is it being pushed, or is it rising on its own volition?
So based on your sort of your knowledge of like proto physics, we'll call it. It is certainly moving upwards. Sure, if there's like some sort of like it's being pushed. But given the fact that like engines do not exist yet, it's most likely like something is like pushing it up and is like things have been needed to move out of the way in order for this thing to rise up.
So it's not being squeezed; it's being pushed up,
Extruded. Yeah.
extruded. Something is deeper under there. I guess we could dig. I don't know. I don't know how far down we'd have to go because this is pretty large as it is. And if it was smaller 2 days ago and yesterday it grew some, and then it's grown this much today, I'm pretty sure that tomorrow it's going to be even bigger if it keeps growing at this rate. So we have to do something because this is already too close to our home for comfort for me. And, other people too, but I'm concerned about our family.
Well, how do we figure out what exactly is pushing it up and displacing it then?
When I figure out, I just need a minute to think about how I'll get this. Out of character, that's me looking at my sheet trying to see what I can roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I'm pacing. Like, I'm actually doing work again. I'm going to be so exhausted when this is over with. I'm going to need a vacation. Y'all are going to have to do my chores for me.
Can't imagine what that's like.
Truly, never been done before.
How awful.
Okay, oh my gosh, I know I had a sheet. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm not finding what I need. It's the thing that she did before when she found the bones.
You used your ace.
Okay. And now I gotta see which ace that was. I'm not organized right now.
That's totally fine.
I blame those weird mushroom fingers and hills in the ground. That took my organizational skills. I had them before then. Right, y'all?
Yeah.
Nobody's agreeing with me.
Is it touched by the arcane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to use. Touched by the arcane.
Okay. And what is the goal of using this ace right now?
I want to see if this is of arcane origin and just like a basic rundown, like if I was a doctor looking at a pimple, be like, okay, well, yeah, this is an infected pimple, but I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
I'm arcane, so I'm looking at.
All right. So, like, I hear what you're saying. I can definitely answer those questions, but you are going to need to touch the stone.
Okay. Well, this is probably why I've been pacing then in character, because I know I have to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to touch this thing, y'all, and if it blows up, y'all run or hide somewhere. Better yet, is there somewhere where you can hide, if just in case?
Are you
Duck around.
sure you want to touch it?
No, but I'm going to.
I respect that.
And please don't pull my fingers out. If
I will treat you if you get sick. I will not pull your fingernails unless you tell me that I should.
Yeah, I kind of like my fingernails. They're really cute.
Okay. So you go to this hill, and you brush some of the dirt aside so you can get like uninterrupted access to this stone thing or whatever it is.
I'm gonna be polite to touch it. I'm like, please don't hurt me.
Heard. All right. So to sort of prepare yourself, you enter into sort of like a, a, a magically receptive state. What does that look like for Layla?
I'm going to My eyes are going to glow like the color of the stone this time because that's what I'm focusing on. And you all
Right.
have probably seen my eyes do the weird glowy thing before.
So your eyes give this glow. You touch this stone, and you realize that it is not a stone at all. It is alive. It is like millions, billions of tiny lives forming like this thing that is like stone but is somehow also alive at the same time. And these millions, these billions of like small teeming lives are like crying in agony and in joy as they like reach and experience the sunlight. And you also hear the clamor of billions, maybe even more, of these lives coming down from deeper into the earth than you thought anything could exist. You also realize in a moment of like absolute shock what this thing is, or at least what the top of it is. And it is a skull. It is a human head made of this stone that is not stone, that is pushing its way up from like the womb of the earth, and it is cresting out of this ground. And as you like explore and you send your senses like deeper into it, all of the all of the like the millions of these voices suddenly just stops, and there is something cold and dark and evil that like reaches up from these dark depths. It knows that you're here, and it slowly like reaches for you. You staying or are you leaving?
Oh, I'm going. I'm leaving.
You're going. Cool. So you're gone. It like you
run.
feel it like close where you were, and then vanish. You're gone. You're out. You're just Layla again. That stone thing is, well, you know it's not stone, but it certainly looks and feels like stone now.
I'm going to run for a good 5 minutes before I turn around. Yeah, so I guess what you all see is Layla touch the stone with her glowy eyes, and then after a little passes, she takes off running.
Layla, oh boy. I think Asher is also gonna start running because it can't hurt.
Whatever that means, it can't be good. I don't know.
Now, as Layla runs away, and as Asher runs after her, the ground where this hill was, begins to like shiver a little bit, and the hill rises not very fast, maybe 1/10 of a centimeter a second. But when you're an object of this size, even moving that slowly, like you see it slowly beginning to ascend. And we have lost one of our players, and I'm going to keep on going.
There is.
And it rises, so as this hill, this mound begins to rises a little bit higher, and then the curvature stops and it becomes flat. And as it rises further up, you see the eye sockets that are empty and lifeless, and the whole head continues to rise until you see the top of the jaw and each individual tooth is there in like hyper detail. And the mouth is open, and there is a black pit behind it where the sunlight just does not seem to penetrate. And it rises further and further up until the bottom of the jaw of this open mouth just crests over the dirt level, and then the whole head shudders a little bit and stops.
Asher, would you catch up to me? I'm just gonna I was like, it's a skull. There's little things living in it. There, it goes way, way, way underground.
Wait, what do you mean it's a skull? It's larger than your body.
No, it's a giant. It's giant. It goes way, way super, super deep underground. I didn't know the ground went that deep, and it's got all these little life forms in it that want to get to the sun. And there's something dark in there, and it knew I was there. That's why it ran. I should. Are they okay? Did they touch it? You can't touch it.
This is exactly why I didn't want to touch it.
Okay, I'll go back, but oh my god, you can't touch it. I don't know what it is.
What? Do we need
some
like?
It's.
I don't even know, a rabbi. What do we do with that?
So now that the head is out of the grounds, it's like 60 yards diameter. The mouth is like that opening, that chasm there, it's like 10 feet from bottom jaw to top jaw. Like you could fit a whole family in those eye sockets.
I think I woke it up by touching it. I didn't want to wake it up.
If you hadn't touched it, someone else would have. It's just a matter of what we do.
It knew I was there. It knew it. It was reaching for me.
It's living.
Yeah, it's living. It's not one thing. It's a lot of things.
Okay, there are plenty of things that are a lot of things, like lemmings, right?
It's like a lot of tiny lemmings that we're trying to get to the sun, and they're inside of a skull, which I am guessing if it goes deeper down, maybe there's a whole. Oh no! What if there's a whole body?
Let's just say that there isn't. Let's just say that there isn't. Let's say there's just this one.
Out of there. I don't want.
Okay, yes, we need to get out of there, but like we need to take care of it also. So obviously it's not a human skull if it's that big. So it took the shape of a skull. So my next logical question is why and how did it take the shape of a skull?
I don't think the frying pan's going to work.
Frying pan is not going to work, unfortunately. I do love the frying pan.
Maybe
I think on that note, we are unfortunately out of time, I believe. And so we are going to have to pick this up at our next thrilling installment. Yeah. So y'all have a couple of weeks to think about what this could be and what you might find if you were to go inside it.
Can we just like get a giant frying pan bigger than the skull, and then we'll just get the stronger people to kind of just grab it and whack the thing?
That's a lovely idea, something to pursue in a couple of weeks when we come back to this. But for now, that is all she, be me, wrote. You can try that next time. You can try that next time. So, thank you all. Turning to our audience again, thank you all for being here and watching this fantastic episode of Gelgelim Yiddish Fantasy Gone Rogue. It's time for some outros, and we're gonna get started again with TJ.
Hi, I'm TJ. I played Alexis. He, him pronouns for both. Where can you find me? 2 weeks here on Tuesday. Outside of that, I don't really do any other streams. If you want to see what stuff I'm liking on Twitter, you can follow me at or Mr. Rogers _ TJ. And yeah, that's all. Passing off to Heck.
Yeah. Hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot, and this happens every episode. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Heckalot, including Twitch, Itch, Twitter as long as it's still around and I move somewhere else, Instagram, all of that, all that good stuff. Just find me. It's the best place to figure out where I'm going to be in the TTRPG space next, because I tend to wander a whole lot. But you won't see me until the 21st of this month, because I'm going on vacation. I'm finally going on summer vacation, so you'll see me on the 21st of July for Cold Hands, Warm Hearts, right back here. You can find me in Oathsworn, honestly, the Dragon Lords here. And also, most notably, I am over on Indoor Adventures every Sunday, playing Apocalypse Keys, and it's been very cool so far. It's definitely not something that you want to miss. But yeah, that's it for me for now. Not sure if Danielle, you want to go next, or Turk wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll go last. I'll go last.
Perfect.
Turk, go ahead.
All right, perfect. Hey, everybody. I am Turk, or Turk Accented. If you are watching, not from the future, but from the past, I don't know how you've done it. Please DM me the information. Anyway, I, of course, had the distinct honor and pleasure of continuing to play Shaw, the old man who everyone's real concerned about now. Wasn't concerned when there was all those ghosts going about and he was, playing bodyguard. Anyway, dissect that later. If you want to see more of me, because I don't know when this will be going out, I will just say I am here, where I run and play Lancer 5e with Oathsworn, and of course, more of this awesome campaign, as well as a Death in Space game called Last Transmission. And then I'm over on Lost Caravan playing a bunch of other stuff. But mostly I run Cthulhu things. That's about all they let me do, because I really like the way I run Cthulhu things. Problems. But there's a bunch of really cool projects on both those channels. And occasionally I pop over on High Shelf Collective, so if you haven't got a chance to say hi there, please do. It's a nice group. And anyway, thank you all so much. Support the people you see on your screen here, and keep putting the good vibes you can out in the world, or else I'll fight you. That's entirely too much out of me, though, so passing over to Janie.
And I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, and I'm all done. I had a time machine that I went before Turk did.
Janie does a great job in Chimeriad, and it's every other Saturday, and I'm gonna yell about it. It's here. Check it out in the chat. Exclamation point Chimeriad in the chat.
Okay, so I didn't actually go before Turk. I was just trying to gaslight him, and I didn't work because I'm not very good at it. And I just told myself.
You only got me twice. The first 2 times.
But I will DM you the time machine information. You just can't share it with anybody. And you can find me not many places, because I don't have any accounts with any meta properties, and Twitter is on life support right now. So if you could just make sure that when it finally dies, the service is at like noon. I made a joke because but I will try to find ways to let you all know what I'm up to. It's usually Janie Pot 7575 online, and I'm passing it to the next person.
I'm Max. You can find me anywhere that I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. Upcoming this month on Wednesdays, I am over on Critical Misses, playing Stone and Starlight, which is a campaign in Under Hollow Hills. Game is honestly really good. Go check it out. At the end of this month on TTRPG, I will be participating and also helping facilitate our Fayfair fundraiser. It will support Trans Lifeline. There are some really cool prizes. Money will go help trans folks. So yeah, check that out if you can. In real life, that same weekend, I'm vending at Shaolin Comic Con, Staten Island, New York. I'm selling crochet stuff. If you like crochet stuff, you can buy it there. And then I will see you all at Gen Con in the beginning of August.
Woo! All right. Hi, I'm Danielle Osterman, she, they. I am the facilitator for Gelgelim, Yiddish Fantasy Gone Road, and I also made the setting. You can find my Itch.io page at dubdubpub.itch.io, and you can find there the lovely stream website or AP website, which is going to have a synopsis of all of our episodes and links to our YouTubes and all the house rules that we're doing, as well as a list of NPCs that you might want to reference. We just met a whole bunch of NPCs today. If you want to like keep track of who's who, that's a great way to do that. With regards to the games that I publish and write, I've got a new release. I think it's hoping to come out sometime this month called Bullet Mag, celebration of Bullet's 3rd anniversary being published. It's got a bunch of contributions from some really, really phenomenal people, including Rathiobacter toxicus and Adira Slattery. It's going to be fucking lit, as I believe the kids say. And you will see me on the internet in like a week and a half ish, I think, on the 18th of July. I think that's the right date. I hope it's the right date. And I'll see you then when we will find out what's up with this head. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.